Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Emerald Gaia Transmissions, the virtual goddess channeling and alignment circle. It's wonderful to be with you today. Thank you for joining me. So we're going to get started in this. We are absolutely in a time of global transformation. We've been doing so much work together here in this circle to bring in the light and hold space for this paradigm shift that we're all experiencing. And we are experiencing the purification process that occurs when we choose to do this work. So today in the illumination codes, we are going to really focus on how to receive divine support when we are processing challenging feelings, sometimes devastating emotions that come forth when we wake up, when we awaken to the light. The option to numb out no longer exists because we all have ways of coping that we've cultivated through the years, ways of coping with uncomfortable emotions and challenging emotions that lead to us experiencing a certain numbness. And so we just no longer are choosing that option. We want to be alive. We want to be awake. And so in order to experience the bliss and the ecstasy that we're all starting to experience more consistently, or else we wouldn't be here, because we're following that union. We're following that bliss. That's what motivates us, that light, that experience of the light. So we're all experiencing that. So we have to experience everything, because the oneness includes everything. So we have to learn how to navigate vibrations that are not preferred, that come up as part of this purification, and include them. So we're not getting rid of them, we're including them. So the Divine Mother includes everything. So, and then that's how we integrate. That's how we come into wholeness. So we could also look at it as that we call forth when we do this work, and these unconscious pockets of unconscious energies and vibrations come forth. We call forth, it's like we call forth fragmented parts of ourselves. And these fragmented parts of ourselves they carry certain gifts that have been dormant. So when we do this, we are integrating, and then we receive access to parts of ourselves that were previously not accessible to us. So that's another benefit of the work, is that we experience this wholeness and we go deeper and deeper into that union. So again, we must continue, we must carry on, even though it can be very uncomfortable. And like we shared, this past week has been difficult. There's just been a lot going on with relationships and energies of division affecting our closest relationships with family and friends, sometimes even severing these relationships, needing to or take a break and take space from some of these disruptions in order to take care of ourselves and process what we need to process. Again, this is the practice of the inner activist, in that when we are triggered, we go through these emotional triggers, some kind of disturbance in the outer world, an experience in the outer world that we have. We turn our attention back to the inner quantum field and do that work of processing these unconscious, bringing these unconscious energies into the light, because it's the unconscious, these very charged emotions that come forth in these triggers. So that's how we know that it's a trigger, because it will be very charged, and it will trigger what we were just sharing about these repetitive thought patterns, and it's like it gets stuck. It's like a negative feedback loop, and and then we start kind of replaying it in our mind, and it's like it's a loop. And so we're going to learn a little bit more how to navigate through those types of experiences. Exactly what it is, what is the skill? Exactly do we do in those situations? How do we discern what is our truth? How do we discern what is happening for us beneath the appearance, beneath the mask, beneath the surface? That's where we choose to be. What is the reality underneath what appears to be happening? Because appearances can be very deceiving. We know that in our world at this time, there is warfare, there is spiritual warfare, psychological warfare. We have these, propaganda machines releasing information constantly into the airwaves. And so we have to be so strong in this inner union and in our discernment of what is right for us in any moment. It can shift. So the key is to have this discernment and to be very strong in this inner union so that we can see and pause and choose what it is that we want to experience in our reality. So that's what we will focus on today. The illumination code that we'll receive today is discernment, divine discernment. So let's just dive right in and close our eyes. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths. Because this is the alchemical container. This is where we transform. This is where we're safe to be who we are and to learn and grow and cultivate these skills. So take deep breaths. Be aware of the inner field. It's such a relief to connect with that divine presence within. That is our true identity, the divine presence within. So just feel that relief. Feel the support. You're not alone. You're never alone. Never alone. Just drink that in. You are never alone. You're being guided. You're being supported. Feel the goosebumps. This inner presence. That is your identity. Take deep breaths and just sink into that presence. And be aware of the root chakra. And we want to connect the body, the base of the spine, with a line of energy, a very clear, pristine, pure line of energy between your body and the core of the earth, the diamond white core of the earth, the ascended Gaia. We're choosing to our reality in the ascended Gaia, that dimension. So in this dimension, we have access to our star family, beings of light in the inner earth, the ascended masters. And even though we are going in the inner earth in this connection, we're experiencing this very, very high frequency of ascension. Shakoraini chineke shakoi shakoi. Sonoa anai. So just allow that, the diamond white frequency to rise up, lighting up all the layers of the earth, all these beautiful inner earth, beings of light and elementals, lighting up as your awareness rises up from the core of the earth and into your body, to be received by every cell of your body, this ascended light. The divine presence is an inner illumination that gradually reveals itself throughout our incarnation. So we're focusing on that inner light, the Shekinah, the indwelling presence of the divine, revealed through light. It's not based on any belief system or ideology. It is an innate experience. It's an experience. So this is the truth. So all the ideologies about what you have to do and what you have to be in order, how you have to believe, how you have to think, all of this, we can just let it go. Because we are having the experience of the divine inside of us. And as long as we're anchored in this experience, those kinds of energies of control, they're vibrations of control and ideologies, have no power. So our focus in this circle is to make that connection so strong. That it is the foundation of all that we do and see and be in the world. So this circle, this work is an unraveling process. We're unraveling all of the conditionings and beliefs and traumas and experiences that obstruct this pure, pristine connection to the inner light, the Shekinah. Sonoa anai ini shinake ichi kichikoro chunoa anai ichi kisikisukosoa. Sanai shinake nichinokorai sikisuko. So we can feel that earth energy rising up through our legs, through the soles of our feet, rising up through the legs, into the knees and the thighs, just clearing out the energy channels of the legs. So this is how we become embodied. Become very aware of the physicality of ourselves. So that we receive the spirit, we can land into the body. That's why we do this. So, and then that gives us stability. So, this fusion of spirit and matter. And so again, these purification processes are clearing and cleansing the density of the body so that the spirit can land and be in this fusion of spirit and matter, heaven on earth. That is like when you are just in that flow of the divine, in the present moment. You're just in presence. So And then we're just experiencing this earth energy running through all the energy channels of the body, moving into the creative center, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus. Just be aware of those areas, grounding into the core of the earth. Allowing the energy to rise up into the heart and into the throat, into the third eye, and then fountaining out the crown of the head. And then we're receiving the cosmic light. And we're receiving a vibration of Sirius. It's a star nation. It's a blue ray. And this blue ray is coming forth very powerfully at this time in preparation for the Lion's Gate, Stargate that opens 8/8. So this vibration is this vibration of the feline beings of light. So just receive, if you choose, this blue ray of support from our galactic star family. These are frequencies of ascension. And again, like choosing that dimension, choosing the dimension of ascension. It's a choice. It's a free will choice. It's based on freedom. And choosing, yes, I will go through this purification process. I can do it. I will go through this purification process and stabilize in this dimension of ascension and freedom. And heaven on earth. So bringing forth this frequency of trust. Because when the lower vibrational frequencies come forth in the purification processes that we engage with, when we work with the light, when we work with the Shekinah, it can be a little bit tedious. It can be tedious. It can be difficult. It can be heavy to experience that division, to experience those feeling states from the past that we haven't felt in a long time. Oh gosh, I was feeling so free. I was feeling so light. I was feeling in the flow. And then I had this encounter with, a friend or a family member, and I got all triggered. I got all heavy. I all of this came up. It's so tedious, right? That feeling. And then doubting, like, is this really working? Is this work really, really dissolving some of these frequencies and supporting me as I move into this new paradigm? So just bringing forth those feelings, just allowing it to come up for you. This, feeling of like, is this working? Is this really worth it? Any doubt around that. So just allow that to come up. It's completely natural. It is again a coping mechanism. It's a form of resistance, and it does create obstruction. It makes, when this comes up, again, it's natural. It's not right or wrong. It's a frequency of resistance, and we are in this work. We are working. We are learning how to be in a state of acceptance, of non-resistance, so that the energies can flow and move through us, like a river. So that's why we work with the river, the vibration of the river, so that the energy can flow more freely, with the least resistance. So just feel that river, this vibration of the river, this gold river coming in through the crown of the head and calling forth Ochun, this amazing, powerful goddess of abundance and beauty and joy and sensuality. So she's working with us very closely in these transmissions, removing some ancestral patterns, woundings of the past, limitations. So just allowing that river of gold to sweep through your inner field, bringing everything into the present moment. And letting go, it can be very, very uncomfortable because these are false identities that we have cultivated through the years. Like, the human believes that this is who we are, and so letting go of these things, it can be challenging. Certain identities that we have that are limited. For example, this is just a small example of, that, I am a single mother. I'm raising my son on my own. So then sometimes I'll go to a family reunion and I'll get this energy like, poor Anna, poor Anna. And, she's on her own. And I really had to take a stand and say, no, this is not who I am, poor Anna. I'm a free spirit. That's what I am. I'm a free spirit. I tried to be married and it just didn't work out. I'm a free spirit, So like the energy of like this tragedy or this energy of that, this error, that occurred, this wrongness that happened, this thing that shouldn't have happened, it dissolves into this, proclamation of, I'm a free spirit. I'm always evolving and growing and changing and moving with this river of light, And so this is how it is for me right now. It's not right or wrong. It just is what it is. And I can celebrate that. And so I now no longer allow that frequency into my system. So this is an example of how the way I perceive a situation, I have the power to shift it. And I no longer match that frequency of, oh, poor Annie, this terrible thing that which is very, very oppressive. It can be very oppressive. So that's a small example. So just bring forth an experience like that in your life of an identity that you're letting go of, that no longer serves you. Just bring it to the altar. Bring it to the river of gold to be dissolved. So sora ha a na ini chinakare chikorai shiki shikoswa. So no a na ini chinakane chinakorai chiki soku. Sokoa ha a na ini chinakane sokorai shiki sokoswa. Sana ini chinakane chikorai chiki sokoswa na I. Sokoa ha a na ini chinake shakoroa. So no a na chinakane chinakorai shiki sokoswa. Sana ini chinakare chiki sokoswa. Sana ishina he shikasur kura hanai. Sonoa anai ini jinakesako sora hanai shikisako sokuaha. So discernment, divine discernment. Shonoa ane chinaki. So this is how we see the truth. Shonoa ane chinakation, the truth beneath the surface. Sonoa ane chinakation. Now, my truth is not the same as your truth. So we don't all have to have the same truths. So that's where it gets sticky, because we think if we have this truth, that everyone needs to also see that truth. And so we're going to detach from that. We can have that truth inside ourselves. It is our gift. It is our treasure. It comes from our unique experience. So there's no one else who's going to see it exactly the way that you see it. So you don't need to be acknowledged. Your truth doesn't need to be acknowledged by anyone else. It's yours. If somebody else does not have the same truth as you, it doesn't mean that your truth is canceled out. So this is a very important paradigm shift, because this is the source of so many issues and divisions and ruptures of relationships. So sometimes people close to us can relate to us, and sometimes people close to us cannot relate to us. They have not had the same experience. They have not had the same education or life experience. They may be coming from a completely different culture. They may just have a completely different perspective on an issue than you do. And does it mean that they're wrong and you're right? No, it just means that you have different perspectives. And so this is, we really have to work with this very powerfully. We have so much opportunity to work with this at this time. During this, it's just so obvious, the polarities that we're seeing in the outer world. Divine discernment. So you choose what's right for you. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to come along with you. So this is such a powerful way to claim your freedom. When you no longer feel hurt when somebody doesn't understand you, you are in freedom. Where you can step back and allow somebody close to you to have their own perspective, and still allow yourself to have your perspective. So calling forth again divine discernment, and just receiving. Then this divine discernment is an illumination code coming forth, and it's coming in through the crown of the head. So you can visualize this column of light of divine discernment. It's a green ray coming in through the crown of the head. 888. Sonoa anai ini chikesako 1111. Hana ini chinakenechiko 333. Sonoa ana chiki luminous light. So just visualize this emerald green, this vibration of self-realization, of divine discernment, entering in to your body, into every cell of the brain, clearing and cleansing the thought processes of the brain with divine discernment, purifying all the patterns, the neural pathways, raising the frequency of the thought patterns with this emerald vibration. Sorwa anai ini sinakisha ka iwaha anai. Sanai shinakinini sikinini shnei shnei sana ana ini chinakinini in the serious beings of light coming forth. And this is a blue ray, so you can allow the blue ray to come forth as well into the third eye, activating your visionary capacity. And it enters into the pineal gland. So softening and purifying this gland. And this gland starts to emanate this vibration, this visionary capacity throughout your body, throughout the brain. You can see the left and the right hemispheres of the brain receiving this activation and bringing the left and right hemispheres of the brain into balance. Receiving this code, divine discernment. Just follow the light language transmission. And choose, you choose. I choose freedom. So any kind of implants or any kind of, it's like an implant that's coming from the mass media. So just be aware of that and just allow this blue ray to dissolve it. And just with the intention, we can avoid being caught up in it. Okay, this is something that is there. It's a vibration of control, and so we're just allowing that to come forth. So in a space of neutrality. So we are offering it to the divine. So we just say inside ourselves, we're offering any kind of control mechanisms or implants to this divine presence, to the fire. Neutral. So no, it has no power. It has no power. So we just let it go. Take deep breath and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And just feel the communication, multi-dimensional communication coming forth when that implant is removed. And so we can experience more multi-dimensional communication from our ascended brothers and sisters in other dimensions. So just opening to that communication. And just allow this blue ray to move through all the neural pathways of the brain, raising the frequency of the thoughts. Swaha anai shinakane no no anini. Kane chike chikane chikorai chike chikora sukuai. Sonoa anai ini chinakane chikoraha asanake shikorai. Sono no no ana ini chinakane chikorai chike shikora chikorai. Suku shwaha anai chinakane chike sukora surana. Sono no 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 ana nini seki shikone chike shikane chike suku. Hoshwaha sanai. Hosonahanai. Hosonohana Senake Shikoroana Chikesko. Sonohana Shenake Shikai Chikesko. So cool Haana Aini Chike Chikaraina. So Hana Shenake. And then we'll continue to receive that emerald ray into the body, kind of sealing in these new frequencies of light, and then sealing out that which no longer serves us, including it back into the oneness. Sonoaha nai shinakishiku. Sonoaha nai. So just allow yourself to receive the emerald frequency of light. Into the throat, just allowing it to clear the throat area so that you have clear communication, clear expression. So you can see and you can express in the moment. Without needing to explain, because sometimes, so this divine discernment is activating intuition and instinct so that you trust your intuition and your instinct over appearances, over ideology, over justifying, gaslighting, what they call gaslighting, where you're seeing something that's happening and you're pointing that out. Something's happening, I'm seeing this happening, and somebody's telling you that you're crazy, that that's not happening. So just allow that to come forth, that gaslighting wound that many of us starseeds have, because sometimes we see things that other people don't see. We'll see certain patterns, we'll see vibration more viscerally than others close to us may see, and they may, and it can be very unconscious, or it can be malicious, where they will, feel like we've lost our mind, or we'll get that kind of energy, that resistance. So again, the divine discernment is, we will, with this activation, we're activating that capacity to hold our truth inside of us. No one else has to see it the way that we see it. If no one else in the room sees what we're seeing, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means that they're not seeing it, that they don't have that sensitivity that you have. So that's all that means. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that it's not true. It doesn't mean that you're not having the experience that you're having. So this is what we are clearing out with divine discernment. That self-doubt. Those traumas, the times where we've been traumatized because we were seeing something that was happening and nobody else could see it. No one could acknowledge it because they didn't see it. They didn't see it. Or they didn't want to see it. Or they were hiding it, or it was something that they were actively hiding. and you spilled the beans and embarrassed them, or shame them in a way because you were seeing what they were doing. So again, this is happening all the time in our daily lives. So now's the opportunity to clear that self-doubt, to offer it to the fire. Offer it to the river of gold. Any experience of where you were shamed or punished or ostracized because you saw something that other people in the group did not see the way that you saw it. This is a very deep wound, and it affects your clairvoyance. It affects your ability to see, your visionary capacity. So we're clearing that. So we're going to work with the emerald frequency. It's a very high frequency of healing and self-realization. And we're just allowing that emerald green to move through your system, recalibrating your system to divine discernment. And so with divine discernment, if it's time to speak up, you can see if somebody can receive you. So you may choose not to share what you're seeing in certain situations. And then you'll be inspired to share when it is the right timing for you to share. So divine discernment gives you that timing and freedom of expression, because you know when to use it and when not to use it. It's your choice. So, and then when you express with clarity. So take deep breaths. So we can choose, just like this example of seeing myself as poor me or seeing myself as a free spirit. That's a choice. So when we're going through our purifications, we can choose, oh, not this again. Oh my God, not this again. I have to go through this again. Or we can say, awesome. Now I am really clearing out another layer of this that has created suffering in my life. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to go through these purification processes, because when I know that when this shifts, I feel amazing. I feel amazing clarity. I am so blessed that I'm going through this purification process right now, that I'm going through this, learning how to discern. I'm clearing out all this deception, all this control out of my system, out of my brain, out of my thought processes, and I'm receiving divine discernment. Awesome. There's something that's clearing. I feel a little uncomfortable in my mind right now. I'm kind of repeating some thoughts. I'm kind of reliving some things in the past. But you know what? I know I'm going through this purification process. I did this activation of divine discernment, and now I'm purifying. So amazing. I'm so happy that this ancient wound, this burden is being revealed and dissolved so that I can be free. Okay, so that's our perspective when this is happening. That's our mindset. Awesome. This is amazing. I'm purifying. And I know that I'm purifying. I feel it. So, I'm just going to take some time to myself. I'm not going to, get into too many conversations about politics at this time. It's not the time. I am purifying. I'm going to maybe take a break from family reunions right now. And because I'm purifying, I'm finding my clarity. I'm vulnerable. I'm sensitive. Okay. So this is how we take care of ourselves in these moments. Learn how to advocate for our divine self. We take care of ourselves in this way. We know I'm going through this challenging time. I'm going to take time for myself. I'm going to take time, spend time with my inner union. I'm going to spend time with the beings of light who support me. I'm going to be cultivating that relationship with my divine self. I'm not alone. I am not alone. And then you might get somebody that says, what's wrong with you? What's going on with you? What, like they get worried and stuff. So again, divine discernment. We have the capacity to express in the moment, to advocate for ourselves. I'm taking some space, taking time for myself. I'm treating myself in this vulnerable time with kindness, with patience. We have to be so patient with these processes because they're very deep-rooted. Some of these mindsets, some of these emotional states that come forth may be from childhood when we were very, very vulnerable. And it can be a very strong feeling of feeling wrong or not good enough or ashamed of who we are. So and you may even see yourself at that age feeling that. So again, we call forth the Divine Mother, we call forth the beings of light in that moment to support us, to support that divine child inside of you that's suffering. And you can visualize that child inside receiving the emerald ray, receiving the Syrian goddesses, the blue ray. So you can actually visualize yourself, when you have an imprint come up, a memory of yourself at a very young age, you can visualize yourself at that age. And this is the shamanic work. This is the quantum work, because there's no time or space in the inner quantum field. So you are actually healing this version of yourself. You are supporting that that part of you that was wounded at that time. So and so then you offer the light to this being. And then there is a ripple effect in that your whole system recalibrates to this frequency of love and wholeness. So it's a very powerful work. It's very effective and accelerated way of healing and coming into alignment. And again, letting go of any doubt, any, oh, this is silly, talking to the little child inside, those kinds of energies. Just let it go. Take a deep breath and let go. Just allowing this experience of integration. Empowering yourself, choosing your reality. This is how you choose your reality. Sono aina chinakene isake sakorai chiki sukunoai. Haishikini shinake a chiki shikorai chiki sukunoa. Sana ina na ini chinakini chinako. And so then we choose, instead of going into the pattern, when one of these triggers happen, instead of going into the pattern, oh my God, all my energy work, it doesn't even work. I'm still dealing with this. We choose. You can see when that comes up, you see it. So, I'm going to do my quantum light practice. That's my signal. I'm going to do my quantum light practice, and I'm going to move into the gold, the river of gold, and we're going to offer that doubt, that despair, that burden into the river of gold to be integrated. And then we come into alignment, Chowaha, with the ascended Gaia and the cosmic light. And then again, receiving as this transmission is coming to a completion. Again, we're recalibrating and aligning with the Emerald Gaia ascended frequency. And we choose, again, no one has to believe the way that you do. No one else has to have the same truth that you do. You hold your truth inside of you as the most precious treasure of illumination and revelation. It is inside of you. And you choose when you share it and when you don't share it, when you reveal it and when you don't reveal it. But it is inside of you. It is fully activated inside of you. Feeding you, continuously feeding you and supporting you inside. And then we allow others to be where they are. And again, it's hard to do that because we all say that. We all say, I allow others to be where they're at, and it can, but we have an opportunity now to really practice it. We have an opportunity to be very authentic with that statement. I allow others to be where they are. So, and what happens is when we strongly disagree with something that somebody's expressing, we can see, the habit of dismissing that person or invalidating that person, which is the very thing that we suffer from. So when we can see that when we're doing that to someone, we're doing it to ourselves. It's our own wound. Doesn't mean that we have to agree. Doesn't mean that we have to join the meeting or go to some kind of, conference about something we don't agree with. It's that we allow it. We allow it. We just in the same way, again, this is a beautiful metaphor from Gaia, that Gaia's offering to us in this moment. So when you go into the jungle, you know that there are all kinds of predators that can injure you. Or if you go into the ocean, you know that there's great white sharks in there. You know that there's different beings that can injure you. So does that mean that they should not exist? That they need to be destroyed? It does not, because they have their place, which is just as valuable and important as your place. So we allow them. Doesn't mean we have to engage with them. Doesn't have to, we don't even have to be functioning in the same dimension as them, but we allow. It is not our place to destroy that or dismiss that, because everything is working in unity, in the presence of the divinity. So we allow. And in this way, we learn how to allow ourselves to be where we are. Because the more we don't allow others to be where they are, the less we allow ourselves to be where we are. So this is a practice. This is a very important practice in these times that we're being invited to become more and more aware of. So just be aware of this type of thing this week, as we are, again, processing and recalibrating and coming into deeper alignment with the inner presence. Just receiving a final blessing as this transmission comes to completion from the Divine Mother coming forth. She includes everything. Oneness. Sokoa anai ini chinakene chinakora ichiki soko. Soro anai ini chinakene chinakora ichiki shakora ichiki sokoroi. Sokoa ha anai chinaki chinakorai nai. Divine discernment activated inside of you. So I'm getting the message, a final message, and that message is think green. Think green. So that's our skill that we're going to practice this week. So the moment that any doubt comes in the mind, any despair, any weariness, think green. You call forth the vibration, the emerald Gaia vibration. Visualize green, and you see that green running through all the neural pathways of the brain. Think green. And then you focus on the heart and breathe into the heart. And allow the Green Mother, a collective of beings of light, archetypes, sacred masculine, feminine vibrations, to come forth to support you. And you know that you're in a purification process and that you are supported, that you are not alone. So this think green, it moves you from thought processes to frequencies of light in a very efficient way. So we'll try it. Align with the divinity that is you.